Um,
Looks like it's recording. Does it say recording?
the file will be converted. Oh, wait a minute. What did I do? Stop it? You know what? It's not saying save to this computer like it normally says.
It's saying recording on my screen.
Oh, is it record? Oh, it is recording.
Hello, 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 and welcome to your Living A Course in Miracles live webinar. Today is February 16th, and I am so excited to talk to you about the last chapter. We made it. It's so exciting. I want to acknowledge you, especially those of you who did the whole thing. And I have a special message from Gary Renard himself for you at the end of the webinar. So let's get started. We always start by saying your name, where you're calling in from, and why you're excited about today's call. My name's Jared Krebs. I'm here in San Antonio, and I am excited because this last chapter really covered some good stuff. So I can't wait to chat about it with you and have you also jog my memory about the things you heard as well. So that's what I'm excited about, and I'm excited to be back because I missed y'all last week. All right. Who's next?
I'll go
Me. It's gonna be Viola.
Oh, it was Viola from Salt Lake City, Utah. I am super excited to be on the call, to be with the team. I love our team, family, ACIM family, and it's Friday again, so I'm just happy to be here, hear what everybody got out of the last chapter.
Yes. Thank you, Mama.
Yep. I'm Sheila Sear from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I don't know if you can see behind me, we have obviously snow, which we've had for a while, and we're going to get more of. And I'm excited to be on the call because I listened to this chapter, I'm not sure, 5 or 6 or 7 times.
Wow.
Because, well, as I've mentioned a million times here, and I'll probably mention, a million more, I clean houses. And so I have it on my phone, and I plug my headphones in, and the whole time I'm cleaning, I'm listening to Ken Wapnick or Gary Renard or Byron Katie, and so I've been listening to this. I keep getting, I'm excited to be here tonight because I listened to so much Ken Wapnick, and I didn't really take much for notes, and I can't really remember what it was about because I listened to so much of it that I'm really anxious for you guys to remind me what this chapter was about.
Yeah. Way to go.
My name's
Big time, Sheila.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sheila. Me too. Listen to tons of Ken this week and stuff, and I'm really excited. My name's Christian Stanbury, Calgary, Alberta, same city as Sheila, and we know each other because we have our own little group. And yeah, I'm really excited about today's call, especially for that little special message by Gary Renard. I've been trying to guess kind of like what the next audiobook might be and stuff. So yeah.
Awesome. Way to go, Christian. Glad to see you.
You too, buddy.
All right, rock and roll. Who's next?
I'm Rosalia. I'm from Puerto Rico.
Rosalia.
Yes, and I'm excited because what I heard has to do a lot with remember the last time I was talking and I showed you a drawing of how I visualized everything, and much of the thoughts I had, it was in the audio.
Love it. Can't wait to hear.
Must be me.
Thank you, Rosalia. Yes, Langy.
Yes, Langdon in France. 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay, I'm excited about this because I'm proud of this group too. And I'm proud of this group because we've all made the decision to be here.
That's right.
We've all made the decision, the only decision that we're here to make. And it's to do the course. And it's to do the course the way it's written down. No compromises. And what it was all about this week was, I suppose, adding everything up, wasn't it? It's all about the body, knowing what the body's about, waking up, but mainly that we've made the decision. And the fact that we've made the decision means that we're on our way.
That's right. Thank you, Langy.
Okay.
All right. We have one more caller.
Hey, it's Nathan.
Nathan.
I'm in Minneapolis, and I'm excited about today's call because I'm looking forward to forgiving all of you. Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nathan. Where's your green picture?
I don't know.
Oh, it disappeared.
Oh, shit. Maybe I'm disappearing.
You're enlightened. You're enlightened.
Oh, thanks.
Disappearance of the universe right there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you, Nathan. Okay, guys. So, by the way, Angela Irving is in San Antonio as we speak.
Oh.
And she's at a TMEA, Texas Music Educators Association event. They always have every year here. And so I'm about to go have dinner with her on the Riverwalk after this. She's in a concert. That's why she's not here. So watch out for a post with me and Angela. This was this time last year was when I met Angela on the Riverwalk and told her about Disappearance of the Universe. And so it's kind of like our 1-year anniversary of her doing the course or starting the course, being in the group. And so just cool, kind of fun, symbolic magic. All right. So talking about chapter 14. First of all, it was an hour, which I was like super excited for because the last couple had just been a half hour. And I did not finish the whole hour, guys. I've been so busy with my business stuff. We had a business. Thank you.
Finish it all either.
You didn't finish? Okay. Thank you for your forgiveness.
I forced myself to finish. It was long.
Right. And oh man, the 40 minutes I listened to, like I really listened my very best. I only got to listen one time through the 40. Let me see how far I actually got. Okay, everything but 8 minutes. Okay, so I did 54 minutes. But what I got from it was that we're always making that decision. Like we're always making the decision to be a body or identify with a body. And we always, it's like there's a lot of resistance behind that. Like I think what I got was that it's like the ego is so tricky and there's so much resistance. And so I guess learning about the strategies of the ego is probably the main takeaway, and just learning more about those strategies and listening to Ken talk about it. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say because it's going to jog my memory. But the fact that we always have to continually make that decision to look at the situation with the Holy Spirit, and that is the holy instant. That was my main takeaway from this chapter, and I am going to listen to it again, especially since we don't have another chapter to listen to. So that's what I have, guys. I don't have much more than that until I hear you talk. So that's where I'm at. Who's next?
Yeah, I'll go next if that's okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were talking about the resistance, and yeah, man. Recently I heard like somewhere along the lines of like Jesus and or Ken saying like understanding the magnitude of what we're doing here. You know, like we're undoing an entire thought system. You know, and a lot of times it's like it's like from our currents, it's so hard to grasp the magnitude of the mind. You know, and we don't really have to. Like, of course, we operate with what we see in front of our face, and that's what we're forgiving. And then like. So seeing the sameness seems to be an important theme that's been coming up this past week for me, is like the sameness of everyone, that recognition is how we deal with the ego on this level, that we all have the same right, the same wrong mind, the same decision maker. And so that's really cool. And then another thing that came up this week for me is that maybe a part of the reason why I have been listening to so much Ken Wapnick and stuff and focusing more this week is because the pain of realizing that nothing works here is really important. Like just in a workshop I was listening to last night with Ken, he's like, you know, if you think your life is working here, then don't waste your time with this course. You know, don't waste your money, because this course is meant for people who realize that nothing works here. You know, the willingness to question every value that you hold. So that's so important, right? And then it says, like, the pain of realizing nothing works here, then that voice, capital V, is accessible. And then another highlight, so he read 2 poems, The Comforter and the Father's Love, both poems in Helen Schuckman's Gifts of God. I'm gonna post a link to a YouTube video when you put the replay of this video up for a song that's called, like, You Can Relax Now by Shania Knoll, and it's really beautiful. So check out that song after. And I think it relates to what Ken was talking about at the beginning of this episode, this chapter, about being God's child, you know. And like, I once experienced that, but it was kind of in an unhealthy, like, clinical psychosis sort of way. But the happiest moment of my life was when this feeling of being God's son. You know, I never felt that happiness ever. And but this is more in a relaxing sort of way to explain it. But The Father's Love is another poem that he talked about, and I think it has a lot of mother references, a mother's love, even though it's called The Father's Love, there's a lot of motherly love references in that poem. Mm-hmm. And I once asked Jesus for a poem that had motherly references, and somehow I came across this before. And my grandma just passed away, and I'm going to probably going to read that to her. Tonight. Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear that about your grandma.
Well, thanks.
When was it?
This morning.
This morning. Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's been in the hospital for like a couple months and stuff, and my dad's been going every single day, and yeah, so I didn't cry until I found out. And
yeah.
But when someone passes away, I'm not normally the one to I will go to her funeral, but friends that pass away, people are surprised, like, why don't you go to their funeral and stuff? Well, I usually have my own moment with them, just like in meditation and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Well, bro, I'm sorry to hear that about your grandma.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course. Great share.
Thanks.
All right, next.
Christian.
You all done, Kristen?
Yeah, I'm all done.
Sorry to hear about your grandma too.
Oh, thanks.
I'll go next. So in the first opening narration, I was reminded again, and I love that it tells us that the peace and love of God is always with us. There's nothing we can do to get rid of it. There's nothing we can do to destroy it. We've only forgotten that this is true, and all we need to do is remember it, and that's done by a choice. Once again, you know, the poems, no. I just don't get it. Later on when he explains them, okay, fine, I sort of start to see it. But, you know, I guess when I did English in high school, I was good at spelling and grammar and punctuation. But the whole, what does that poem mean, or what did the author mean when he said that? I was like, no, I don't get it. I don't actually think I could probably do the course without Ken and Gary, interpreting it for me. So yeah, poems, no. Anyways, then later Ken does mention that we're, like you said, Christian, that we are not generally ready to listen to God's voice until we've suffered the pain of realizing that nothing here works. And I know that is that's how I was led to the course, is, and I was laying on the floor of my shower, I just wanted to be swept down the drain. And I said, God, take this away. I can't do this anymore. I just can't do it. There's got to be another way. And within weeks, things started to turn around. Not in the world, but a few events started to happen where A Course in Miracles was brought to my attention. It was just insane. Someday maybe we can talk about it, but whatever, Christian knows. Anyways, and the other thing that I wrote down here is that I'm really happy to be reminded that the return back to God is as simple as our own decision. Because if it was, if you had to work really physically hard, or you had to, be skinny, or you had to, give stuff up, or, I don't know if I could make it, but we're assured that there is no place to go but back to God, and it's as simple as our own decision, and thank God for that. That's
Yes. And you totally just jogged my memory. You jogged my memory.
Yay.
You are not my problem. I am my problem.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm not your problem.
You are not my problem. I am
That's
my
right.
problem. And it's not about our preferences. We all have preferences. But when our preferences turn into demands, when we can't be happy without our preferences, they become demands.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you get in the ego thought system. But the preferences, we all have preferences, and that's cool, and that's okay, and or whatever. So thank you for jogging my memory on those two things. You didn't even say those two things, but your sharing made me somehow recall that.
Good.
I like-
Well, I wish I would have taken more notes, because like I say, I listened to it a bunch, but one of the things I listened to this past week, Christian, is that the one you were saying, this one about Sisyphus, from Futility to Happiness. What a great one, man. That was, I really like that one. It's a good one. But anyways, those were my notes, and that's what I have to say.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sheila.
But yeah, that part about you are not my problem, I am my problem. One of my bigger forgiveness lessons or whatever that seemed to be bigger the past couple of years was one of my old coworkers, and we had a very long period of tension between us. And I was listening to this audiobook, and I really practiced that with her. You are not my problem, I am my problem. I really practiced in my mind. And ever since that moment, for the next 6 months that I knew her, the relationship just grew and got so much better, because I always had that in the back of my mind.
Wow.
It had to happen in me, not in her and anything. It was me.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
That was a great, you are not my problem, I am my problem. I put it on a little Post-it on my mirror in the bathroom. I thought it was that good. And yeah, that's a good one. Christian's leaving. I was going to tell him I was sorry about his grandma. I'll go next. I cannot talk about these chapters without notes. I just listen to it. It was a hard one to get through for some reason for me. And then if I multitask and listen to it, I don't remember when I'm done. I mean, I love it, but then I'm like, I don't remember. I couldn't talk about it. So, Christian, I just want to tell you I'm sorry about your grandma. That's really sad.
Thank you so much. Yeah, my sister's boyfriend was just knocking at my door, and he wanted to say the same thing. And that's really lovely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's sad and hard. I know.
Absolutely, right? And Ken would say, don't forget to be normal. It takes time to grieve over these things, And
Gary says that's one of the hardest things. Gary Renard says that when somebody you really love, when they die, that's to him.
Yeah, unconsciously, it reminds us of our original separation from God. That's the everything that's coming up to the surface. It's reminding me of my original separation when I lost everything. And same thing with breakups, a really hard breakup, same idea. And so yeah, of course it's going to be very hard. Yeah, thank you so much. But I'm happy that she doesn't have the pain of being in the body, right? Actually, supposedly, if we knew what it was like, according to Gary Renard's teachers, we would be jealous. And so I'm jealous of her, damn it. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm happy that she probably is having a pretty good time right now.
Sure. Why not? She says, yep, I'm sure. Okay, so this chapter, the shields, you know how Wapnick talked about the first shield, the second shield, guilt, tries to keep God's love away. The first shield is guilt. The second shield is the world itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then the secret place is the right mind, the Holy Spirit, where we tried to keep it a secret. And it's the purpose of the body is not to know the secret place, because the secret is for us to conceal. The purpose of the body is to know, is not to know, is to conceal the secret place. That's the purpose of the body, to conceal the secret place. Anyway.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And when we care for pettiness in this world, we are ensuring the two shields are kept intact. Guilt,
Body in the world. The body in the world, right?
the guilt and the world itself.
Guilt in the world.
Guilt in the world itself.
Guilt is the first shield and the world is the second shield.
Yeah. So just as, okay, I tried to read this to Randy today, and I didn't read it very good because we were both really confused, but I thought it was really profound. So just as we accept his forgiveness, we become the same shining symbol for everyone else. What I want to communicate by my being to the world is that there is a secret place in them and in me. And by my love and peace and defenselessness, I am demonstrating to them the fruits and joining with that secret place, thereby not keeping it a secret anymore. So that's what we want to do, is not keep it a secret anymore. Be aware of that. We don't have to change our behavior. Does that make sense to anyone? Yeah.
Not keep what a secret anymore.
Not to keep it a secret that I don't know.
That we can choose a different way, that God is all it is. That imagine how Jesus lived his life. That's the secret, is that's what life is supposed to be for us, is peace, is love, is not upset, not attachment. Do you get it?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And we teach by demonstrating with our content, like without words, we're saying to the other people, you're completely innocent. God's son is guiltless. Like that's just what our very nature would be screaming to everybody inside, and they would get that unconscious.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, and I think what you were saying there, Mom, is that like prior to Course in Miracles, we didn't know that.
No.
We had no clue.
It was still a secret that was a secret.
It was a secret.
Well, he did talk about the Roman Catholic Church and the Eucharist. And it said it would make no sense to share my body with you. This is Jesus talking. It would make no sense to share my body with you, because that is to share nothing. What I want to share with you is my mind. So when we receive the body of Christ in church, in the Roman Catholic Church, we get the little host, and we get, this is the body of Christ. I mean, it would be really neat if they would say, this is the mind of Christ. Share the mind of Christ
instead of the body. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, I remember that too, Mom. Thanks for jogging my memory. That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, go ahead.
No, keep on going. Finish, Viola.
I'm almost done. Yeah. Okay. You see the problem as it is, not the way you set it up. Okay. And it's not my fault. The problem is outside of me. Okay, wait a minute. That's not what I'm trying to read here. Oh, the exercise. So the poem to me was really like a really neat, it was a cool depiction of the divine. That last, the comforting, or I think that was the name of it, the comfort or something, the comforter. But I like the exercise. Okay, I am my problem. We talked about that. And the red flag. Basically, I think that is, oh wait, here it is. The Comforter poem is a cool picture of the divine. He doesn't arrange our script for us. So God doesn't arrange our script for us. Like we're always, that would be cool if he would, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what he sends to us is, your reality outside is the dream. He doesn't send you people. Oh, he doesn't send you people. That's right. That someone you put in your dream is the messenger to you. So you know how we always say, or I don't know if you guys always say that. I used to say, well, that person was put in my life for a reason. Well, no, I actually made that person up. So God did not put that person in my life. So you can trust your heart. Let's see, to beat for yours when yours is felt. So I have created people Wow, okay, so this is just like really not really out in the field, but when I read this, I was like, I've just wondered, since I've like been through this, cancer journey, people have been bringing me dinners and getting presents and gifts, and every couple of days I get something from someone makes me a blanket, and I'm like, wow, I mean, I'm just like watching and thinking, I can't say God gave me all these people. I made these people up. And so was just a wow. And today we actually got 2 dinners. Like, it was just like, I'm like, I'm still making this up. I mean, like, so somebody was bringing me this dinner, and another lady parks up and brings this other beautiful dinner. We had 2 beautiful dinners. And I mean, I'm so grateful and I'm enjoying the gifts, but it's just like everything that happens is just, we just make it up. That's what I got out of that. And I think, I mean, that this was a really heavy chapter. Oh, that's Grandma Gomez. I'll have to call her back later. I don't know how to turn this off, so we don't hear that. See, Jared?
Hit the side button. Hit the side button. There you go. Side button.
Okay.
Okay. Hit the side button again. Hit the side button again.
I hope everything's all right.
Hit the side button. Hit all of the side buttons.
Because she doesn't usually call me this late. Everything's okay. So you become the messenger when you accept it for yourself. That's the only time you can become the messenger of the world, to gives to someone else. The messenger of God accepts atonement for yourself. You don't have to do anything. The presence is proof that there is another choice. If that makes sense. Anyway, that's basically, I have more notes, but that's like the big ones, I think.
Phenomenal, Mom. Thank you for sharing. You really were thorough. You got all of the topics of the hour, and
but you can repeat them. Whoever, if I said them,
right.
Yeah, repeat them.
You get double muscle emojis.
Well, maybe I'll share next, because I'm going to repeat some stuff that she said.
All right, Nathan, you got it.
All right. So I wrote down a few things that I liked. The first one is, say to everyone, there is a secret place in you, and I am demonstrating to you the fruits of having joined with the secret place.
Ooh.
Viola kind of mentioned the same thing, that you don't have to say or do anything. You just go around being like Jesus, and that's how you demonstrate the fruits of having joined with the secret place. Let's see. Our job is to get our egos out of the way and our fear, and get our egos out of the way and our fear and our embracing of individuality out of the way. It has nothing to do with what you say or what you do. I like that one a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And then this is related. See how you do it without judging yourself. So one of my favorite new quotes, just from, I think it was from this book, is to be a Course in Miracles student is to forgive yourself for being a bad Course in Miracles. No, to be a good Course in Miracles student is to forgive yourself for being a bad Course in Miracles student, something like that. So I really like that one about observing without judging yourself.
Yes.
There's a way of avoiding all suffering. And that's when my ears pricked up and I was like, yes, go on, tell me. You see the problem as it is, not the way you set it up. And I was like, all right. So I didn't feel like a huge bolt of energy from that one, but I was like, yeah, that's the answer.
Interesting.
And then I guess this is one of my favorite things, because I've always sort of felt weird when, you hear people in the movies say, well, God works in mysterious ways. And that's sort of like justifying like your brother getting hit by a train or like something terrible happening to your family. So he does not send rapists to us so we can learn we are not bodies. The helpful things we experience in the dream are things we put here as reflections of the thoughts that God is sending us. So I really appreciate that. I think there is a tendency, and I don't know, I shouldn't blame people, but like around people who maybe study similar things, but they tend to say things like, that just happened to you because that's a lesson you needed to learn, or I don't know, kind of like blaming God for this thing that happened to you and in this lesson. And that felt kind of weird to me. So I felt, it just felt really important for me to hear Ken say really clearly, God is not doing this to you.
Yes. God doesn't even know we're here.
Yeah. And then the last thing that I really liked is about paying your dues, because that's connected to the work that I do a lot. And I have a lot of conversations with people who work in the same industry as me, and it's largely unregulated. So there's this thought that you have to always start at the bottom. You got to pay your dues and work your way up, sacrifice. So I liked him talking about you have to pay your dues. If you want to benefit, you have to pay into the system. I don't deserve to be happy just because of who I am. I have to pay for it. God will never welcome me back unless I suffer first. I was like, yes. Yes, Ken, preach.
Preach. Love it.
That's all I got.
Man, you got a lot, bro. Did you take notes?
Yeah, man, it's like that was super long.
Way to go.
You think I just read all that from my memory? No,
I
that's
did.
from my notes.
Well done. Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks.
All right. Who's next? Chapter 14.
Did everybody go already?
There's you, Langi, and Linda.
Oh, Langi. Well, my notes, what I have, and I have a question about this because I wasn't very sure. It's when he says there is a purpose underneath the insanity or the madness, and is the purpose for us to see what's inside of us and what's the thoughts that we are having, is it? Hello, is there anybody in there?
Repeat the question.
Oh, sorry, my Spanglish, my English. Okay, he mentions that there's a purpose underneath the insanity.
Okay.
And my question is that the purpose of the insanity or the madness to help us see what we're thinking when we see that outside of us?
Yeah, I mean, that's what this whole classroom is. They call it the classroom, our life.
Okay. So there's a purpose for the madness.
Yeah, the purpose for the classroom is to help us learn our lessons, learn our forgiveness lessons.
Uh-huh.
And so we don't have to keep doing this. If we don't learn them, we're just going to keep reincarnating and then keep having to do them over and over.
So the value that the world has for us is like Freud once said, dreams are the royal road to understanding the activities of the unconscious mind. So dreams, our life shows us, like Jared just said, what's in our mind.
Where we are standing at which place we're standing at.
I think if the world is an illusion. I mean, if you still think that everything is real, then well, you're okay then. But you've got to see everything and accept that it's an illusion. Don't make it real. Once you don't make it real, you can forgive it. You can give it's an error. So you can give it to spirit to correct.
Mm-hmm.
So the madness really is that from time to time you will think you will be reacting to something because you are making it real. The ego will present you with something and you will get upset or you'll get, uncomfortable. So you're making it real.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you stop yourself, holy instant, time and think, hang on, I've just projected this. Now's my opportunity to forgive it, give it away. You're back on track. It takes time to, practice really to get good at it. But I think in a way we're making things a bit more complicated than they need to be. Forgiveness is the key to everything. We've already accepted, we're all here because we've made the decision to be here. The thing I picked up on was that we're all one mind, and the Christ mind. I mean, Jesus wasn't special. He just was the guy who found his right mind first. Or maybe he wasn't, but he's the one we know about. Helen Schucman isn't special. She's a conduit for the Course in Miracles, which is from Jesus. None of us are special. We're all part of the one ship. I think what's amazing is that we're all at different points of the ladder, so to speak, but we're all going up. We're all going back to where we come from. That's what being a student of the Course in Miracles is. And the thing is, it also says in the Course that you need do nothing. The very fact that you've made the decision, if you're with any other brother or sister, you will have a positive effect on them, even if they don't know you're a student of A Course in Miracles. You need tell nobody that you're a Course in Miracles student ever, if you don't want to. The very fact that you are will have a positive effect and will create miracles and shorten space and time. And that's about it for me, I think.
Dang, bro, mic drop.
Did that help, Rosalie?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Langy.
The part, I'm sorry.
Oh, so do you want me to go?
The part that says that God extends to the world, the way I see it is because I have this thought that this world that does not exist has a purpose, the purpose that I think about besides the one Langy just told me is, well, this is in my mind, that God needed to know everything, and then he had to know what the opposite of himself was. So when this extension goes to making his son or creating his son, and then his son creating the separateness in the dream, in this, and it mentions over here also that he extends to every place to give peace. Well, this extension that I see that he mentions, it's in every one of us, that Viola was talking about the secret prize we have inside. I see it as a sparkle, and that sparkle is the one, or what is really real in us, and the rest is the ego. And that heart, which is the sparkle, is the one that is the mind with a capital M, the thought of God, which will help us get out of the dream. And the mind of the ego is the one that's, the small mind is the one that resists. So this sparkle is the one that saves us, and that's what's in us here, believing that we're here, but that's what's gonna make us wake up. It's like a mechanism for him to, for, I think, that's the way I think. I visualize it. Somebody said something.
Yeah, I think.
I'm sorry. I think you don't understand the way I speak. Do you?
No, you're doing fine. You're doing fine. I think the thing is, just think in terms of ego always shouts first and always shouts loudest. So the first thing that ever
Always
comes
comes
into your,
first.
yeah, ego, you know, if you think in terms of your mind as being split, okay,
Mhm.
if your mind is really sort of, I don't know, upset about something, you know, electric bills come in and it's more than you can afford, so you're upset and you're cross and all the rest of it, and all this little story comes into your head about how evil the electric company is and everything else. That's the ego, and it's creating a story. It always creates a story. So if you always consider that whatever comes into your head first is going to be ego, then ask to see it differently. So you basically, Jesus can help you, but only when asked. So you just need to ask, and he will always help you. And then, you know, your mind will clear, and the problem will still be there, but your reaction to it will be different, and you'll be calm and collected. But ego always shouts loudest and will always attack. Spirit is always much quieter. I mean, whatever the answer is, it will come. It might be a knock on the door. It might be a telephone call. I don't know what it'll be, you know. But it's always remember ego's ego's the bandit here, and it's not your friend. And it always shouts louder, so you always know when it's there. But it deceives you because it will start giving you solutions and things like that, which won't work, you know. So it's like I say, it's practice really, and it's to start. Well, it takes time. It's taken me about 3 years, and but I think the amazing thing here is that we've all accepted that the world's an illusion, and we all know what, you know. We all know about forgiveness, and what we really need to do is just practice. You know, practice. Like learning to play the piano, really. You know, it's hard to start with, but if you keep practicing, you don't need the music anymore.
And Rosalia, I want to say also, you really covered all of the metaphysical processes very well, and everything you just said, it was right on. I mean, you have the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Don't make it complicated.
I'd like to add something to what Rosalia said. The whole sparkle thing, I think that's cool. You can equate that with the Holy Spirit or the right mind. I think that's good. Where you had said something to the effect of that God wanted to experience something opposite to himself. That's not what the Course says. The Course does not say that at all.
On chapter, this is 14:12, I believe. Gloria mentioned something about that she saw this, but she was saying it as if this group wanted to do the opposite of God, of what God was. And then I was seeing it that way because for many years I've been asking that question: why is this? Why we are living this experience, which is not real? What's the purpose?
Well, we're not living it, so you're asking a question that has no answer.
Yes, and let me tell you, I really accept that what you just said, but I also see that Jesus comes and tells us or dictates a Course in Miracles and a work that we have to do. So in a way, it's he's acknowledging the situation. I know it's not real. I can understand it, but in my mind, it's like the purpose could be that if God supposed to know everything, so part of the knowing everything, the complete knowledge, would be also knowing what you're not, the opposite of what you're.
I said, well, maybe.
I don't really think that's what the Course teaches. That, like, I think that, but it is helpful to like Jesus is our symbol, and it's very helpful to have this beautiful myth that God sends the Holy Spirit to us, you know, and that like we're not guilty, and it is really helpful, but that's symbolic. Like even the Holy Spirit's an illusion, and the central aim this course attempts to teach is that there is no world. So there literally is no world, and knowledge has nothing to do with the universe of duality. Knowledge with a capital K only knows heaven and only knows God, and there is no place where the God ends and the Son begins, something separate from him. Like these are very helpful symbols, like the idea of being God's son. It's a very beautiful way to sort of explain our relationship to God, even though that's not what it is. Because in heaven you are God, because there's only one. And no, Jesus can only count to one. Jesus can't count to two. So he, like the Holy Spirit, they say it sees our illusions without believing in them. But I don't know. I think, again, this is just symbolic, and it's a very beautiful thought, you know, but there is no world, period.
Yeah. If you think of the opening lines of the Course, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Therein lies the peace of God. So when you ask the question of, well, how can we appear to be here, or, you know, God wanted to experience himself as separate, what you're saying is, I'm here. I know I'm here. I know this is what's happening. So how did this happen? And so you're not really actually asking a question. I've heard Ken say this. You're not really asking a question. You're making a statement in the form of a question.
Well, the way I see it is, it's like an experience, which could be it is an illusion, but still an experience. Because
you're really having a dream. You know, it's the only way I can describe it. You are having a dream that you are Rosalie in a body living on planet Earth, and really, you know, the Holy Spirit is just trying to wake you up from this dream. And the only way to wake up from the dream is to just, remove the bits that the ego have created to make you think and believe that you're, a body living on a planet.
This.
This is awesome. This is awesome. I want y'all to continue the conversation. We'll keep the meeting going after 8:00. And I want to bring in Linda. I mean, this is great information. I want to have some more talk about chapter 14, because we kind of lost our focus on chapter 14. But Rosalia, rock on. I love everything that you're asking and saying, and I love the dialogue from Christian, Sheila, Langi. You guys are answering it like champs. I don't even know what to say. Like, it's beautiful though that we're a team, and so thank y'all for your patience with this too. And I have some special messages for you from Gary. So I have I think a chat from Linda. Let's see here. Linda, I can ask you later. Please send the info on this chat. I might be able to unmute you, Linda. Let's see here. Linda Pettigrew, welcome to the call. Are you able to unmute yourself from your phone? Let's see here. There you go. You're unmuted, Linda. Are you there? Hi, Jared. It's me, Linda. Can I ask you later on, please send me the info on this chat for Friday notes at 7 p.m. your time in California. It starts at 5. So, Linda, send me this email on Facebook Messenger. I don't know if I'm able to copy it.
Yeah, Linda, I can't hear you, but it's nice to meet you. I've seen you around the grapevine online and stuff. Nice to meet you finally.
Yes, Linda, welcome to the call. We're glad you're here. Hopefully we can hear you next time. All right. So, are y'all ready for the special message from Gary?
Do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we don't have time for forgiveness in the field today. But so we had our session with Gary Renard, and I was like, Gary, where do we go from here, man? We listened to all 14 chapters of Ken Wapnick. We love it. I wouldn't mind personally listening to the whole 14 chapters again and like just kind of getting it again, in my mind deeper. But I asked him, I said, can you ask Arten and Persa? Because Gary can actually ask Arten and Persa like right there on the spot. And he kind of looks like off to like the left or the right, I don't know. But then he gets real silent and he kind of like centers himself, and then he asks Arten and Persa, like for messages. And so they don't appear. I wish they appeared. That'd been awesome. But so I said to him, what Arten and Persa, ask Arten and Persa, like, where do we go from here? I mean, do we listen to Ken Wapnick again? Do we actually read the lifetimes when Jesus and Buddha met each other? Do we listen to another audio from Ken Wapnick that Christian has that he posted that maybe we figure out how to get everyone the audio? I was just asking questions, and he got real silent. He's like, this may sound really self-serving, but it's to read Jesus and Buddha.
Yay!
And so I'm like, okay. I mean, it's funny how he delivered it, right? But that's the guidance that we're on. So we're gonna have Gary Renard himself on our call next Friday, folks.
Woohoo!
Can I get some muscles, please? Can I get some muscle emojis, please? Oh my gosh, Christian, don't scare me, bro. It's too much.
Huge that is. It's rock solid.
Too much power, bro. Too much power. Do I get a Nathan Lively muscle emoji? Do I get it? Do I get to see Nathan Lively's biceps on this?
Yeah, I'm doing it so hard right now. So hard.
Oh my God.
Probably feel that all the way up in Calgary.
Yeah, man, I'm scared. Actually.
So guys, we're gonna have Gary Renard on. Usually, last time we had him on, he's like a rapper, man. He just gets on and he flows and flows and flows. But like, have your questions. Have your questions for Gary. I don't know if everyone's gonna get a chance to ask a question, but have something you want to ask Gary.
I have something I want to ask you. Is it going to be a question and answer thing with Gary, or are we going to read the first chapter of his book and discuss that with him, or what's the deal?
No, Q&A. Yeah.
Q&A.
So we have the week off. We got the week off, guys. So there's nothing to review this week. We're just going to chill. If you want to listen to the last chapter again, that's what I'm going to do. But it's pretty neat that he's going to be on our call. So think of your questions. I can even tell him because he's real like go with the flow. I can be like, look, everyone on this call is going to have a question for you. So maybe we can kind of do it. Maybe we can do it where he knows that, so he doesn't just go on and on and on, because like if everyone has like a question and we have 8 people on and each question is 5 minutes, well, there's your whole hour, right? It's like 40 minutes right there. So I think I'm gonna phrase it that way so that you can ask your question, because you are the heart of this book club. If it wasn't for you, then we wouldn't have the club. So it's like awesome. I'm so grateful to each one of you and want you to definitely get a chance to ask him a question directly. So yeah, I'll phrase it like that. So have a question ready for him. Rosalia, have your question. Be ready to rock. Give Gary all you got.
I'm gonna give it to him.
What?
I'm gonna give it to him.
Give it to him, bro. He remembers.
Hard-hitting questions about his book.
He's like, oh, Nathan. He's like, Nathan Lively. Yeah, I remember you.
Have you read it yet, Nathan?
Hell yeah. Do you know I gave it to my dad and he hasn't been able to make it through it yet? I don't know. Something tripped him up. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Gary Renard. Cool.
And guys, I just want to ask y'all, because like, here's my book. I haven't even cracked it open at all. Like, really? Totally fresh. Okay, so this book is like, oh God, 200 pages, something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm thinking like, what's I don't read very much. So this is gonna be a challenge for me. I'm gonna have to really change my life to do this.
It's like a combination of letters. Those letters make words.
It's gonna be tough, dude. But oh my God, he says the book is to Kenneth Wapnick. I cannot be you, but like you, I can stick to the truth.
Has everybody else got all of Gary Renard's other books?
Yes.
Yes.
I have, but I've never read one.
You're kidding.
Ooh.
The only book I haven't read is that one because I haven't got it yet. But I've read all the others more than once.
Oh my gosh.
The thing is, every time you read them, you see something new.
Oh, I
Mhm.
believe it.
There's lots new in this book. Not necessarily specifically about the Course, but about Jesus and Buddha and their lives.
What do you
There's
what
a
do you
lot
guys
of
think?
jam-packed full of like juiciness.
So
Yeah.
guys, what do you think if we read like 40 pages a week? Like that's an average of like 8 pages a day or something. Is that like
What
Is
about
that a
just
lot?
a chapter a week?
Yeah.
what?
A chapter a week. Keep it simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
chapter a week.
Chapter a week? Okay.
You're a little too ambitious.
How many pages is a chapter? I'm just all worried about this, man. I really got it.
Some chapters are longer than others, but I mean, a full week to read a chapter that seems reasonable.
Okay.
I read the book in a day and a half, so it shouldn't be completely unreasonable.
Ooh, Jared.
Yeah.
Day and
Yeah.
a half. She threw down the gauntlet.
You know what? We're gonna do the whole book next Friday. No.
I might not
On the
have it yet.
call-
by
On
then.
the call live, we're reading the book. No breaks.
No break. We're gonna do a marathon. We're gonna do a Zoom marathon. We're gonna read this thing for 12 hours together.
Was it no pain, no gain?
And Langy, you're gonna start at 2 a.m. and you're gonna be done by 2 p.m., bro.
Oh, okay. Okay. I can do it. I can do it.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys. Well, all right. Well, cool. I'm cool doing a chapter a week. I'm actually really thankful that we're gonna read this because it sits there and this book looks at me. Only book I read is Course in Miracles or my Ken Wapnick books, and so I don't make enough time, but I'm gonna be forced to, thanks to you, and I appreciate that because I'm excited to read this book. So
excited,
The
super
only thing
excited.
you can't do is multitask and read a book like you can.
yeah,
That's what you're afraid of, right?
that's what I do right now for the Ken Wapnick stuff. I listen to it while I'm doing other stuff, and I do well. But hey, you know what? Like they say in my industry, in order for things to change, you got to change.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't have what you can't have what is it? Doing what you always done. Can't help me out, guys.
You can't expect different results if you keep doing what you've always done.
Thank you, Sheila.
Insanity, doing the same thing over and over again.
Expecting a different result. That's right.
Right.
That's right. So all of the above, man. I'm ready to rock. Let's go. We're gonna do this book.
Yeah. I gotta buy it. I gotta go and buy it.
Got to go out and get it, Langy. Well, you got a
Uh-huh.
couple weeks because we're not even gonna do chapter 1 till.
No, that'd be good. Because
Yeah.
by the time I've ordered it and it's arrived, it'll probably be Saturday.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, let's talk about this here. So like the first like there's the
Get the
introduction.
ebook, buddy.
So
I like the print myself.
Yeah, like the
I like
note
books.
from the author, the introduction and the note from the author is pretty long.
okay.
So we could even do that for like the first chapter if we really wanted to. But I don't know. I think just chapter 1, chapters is a better idea. Just the first chapter.
Yeah, let's do chapter 1 because it's only 12 pages.
Yeah, ease yourself into it.
Well, no, but also because you got 20 pages of the introduction of the author, so it's really probably 30 some pages after all that. So, yeah, we'll do that, but we got time. So, all right, guys, it's 8 o'clock. I got to rock and roll. I love you. Thank you for being in this audiobook club. Thank you for participating. Let's go ahead and unmute the lines, and everybody say, "Have an awesome night and God bless."
Have an
Uh-huh.
awesome night. God bless.
Bless.
Say hello to Angela when you see her.
I will. I'll be
Okay.
posting.
Oh,
on
yes.
Facebook.
Enjoy.
All right, thanks.
Have a good week.
Good night.